If you've made it this far, it's not by chance. There's something in the air, a whisper between time and the heart, saying that this message is for you. God prepared this moment. The universe stitched together every second until you hit play. Your guardian angels whispered your name, and now the silence begins to speak. Take a deep breath. Do you feel that gentle presence? It's a sign. Someone somewhere thought of you, and that person's heart began to tremble. Where are you watching from right now? Write in the comments, because this meeting is spiritual. There's something pulsing in the invisible, something that time tried to erase but fate insists on reigniting. Today the spiritual winds bring a soft murmur, a memory that didn't want to fade away. That person, yes, the one you felt even when the silence stretched on, still vibrates at the frequency of your name. The universe has mysterious ways of bringing hearts together, even when the paths seem contrary. Sometimes it's not a touch nor a message. It's a sudden sensation in the chest, a chill for no reason, a memory that arrives uninvited. And that's when the angels whisper, "There's not a coincidence, no, it's a connection." Today there's a different energy surrounding that person, an unease that started as a whisper and is now transforming into something almost palpable. It's as if their heart is trapped between two worlds, the one that was lived and the one that still needs to be understood. That person tries to move on, tries to convince their mind that forgetting would be easier. But the heart is stubborn. It remembers the soul's touch, the words that hung in the air, the silent promises that never needed to be spoken. You know when you close a window yet still feel the light streaming through the cracks. That's how this connection still lives on. Even when the doors seem closed, the light insists on coming in. Even though distance has tried to erase what has been, there's a persistent glow. And it's you. This person prays to forget, to move on, to not feel. But every prayer echoes back with the same answer: no, because forgetting something that was true is like asking the sun to stop rising. The universe doesn't erase what has purpose, and there's something in you that still calls out, not out of desperation, not out of attachment, but out of destiny. There's a subtle bond between two souls that recognized each other before they even met in this time. When you think of her, this person's heart responds. A gentle tremor, almost imperceptible, like the first flutter of an angel's wings. Today, her heart is at war. On one side, the desire to break free from what she feels. On the other, the invisible force that pulls her back to the feelings that never died. The body tries to move on, but the soul keeps returning to you. Do you know why? Because there are truths that even time cannot deceive. Because some memories aren't just memories, they are seeds. And what has been planted in the spiritual field doesn't die. It merely waits for the right season to bloom again. God is watching this silent movement. While you search for answers, this person is also seeking peace. While you try to understand the reason for the absence, she tries to comprehend why she still feels your presence. There's an invisible mirror between you. When one cries, the other feels. When one closes off, the other senses. Angels have spoken. True love does not dissolve in distance. It transforms, matures, takes on new forms. And even though silence has become the language between you, there's something being written in the lines of fate. Maybe today you felt the urge to hear this message without knowing why. But the reason is this: there's someone who can't erase you from their heart. And even while trying, this person discovers that forgetting is impossible when the soul still recognizes the name that awakened it. There's a tremor in her heart, like the first touch of rain on dry earth, like the wind that heralds a change of season. This person feels that something is approaching, something that will bring light where there was once only shadow. And you, do you feel it too? Do you sense a presence calling you, even when you try to distract your mind? Do you feel that sudden chill, that memory that comes out of nowhere and suddenly warms your chest? These are signs that the universe is stitching together the loose ends. What once seemed lost, God is reorganizing. Longing is not a punishment, it's a calling. Silence is not an end, it's a pause. And a trembling heart is not weakness, it's a sign of life, of connection, of something still pulsing strongly in the unseen. This person carries within her a contradictory request. God, help me forget, but don't let it be permanent. And that's why the sky responds with movement. She dreams of you, feels your presence, hears your name in the subtext of others' conversations. It's as if the universe won't allow complete forgetfulness, because something still needs to happen. God's timing is not our timing, and what seems distant today may just be a curve in the road. Her heart is being shaped, purified, tested, called to maturity. The same is happening to you, even if in a different way, because true connections are not meant to imprison us, but to refine us. You were the mirror for this person, the reflection that showed her shadows and lights, and that's why the distance hurts so much, because it was through you that she saw herself like never before. And when the soul recognizes itself in another, forgetfulness becomes impossible. The guardian angels have been whispering the same message repeatedly. Do not fear the silence. It is the ground where God speaks without words. And it's in that silence that this person feels you, seeks you, even if she won't admit it. Today, there's a spiritual force moving between you, something that asks for forgiveness but also patience, something that recognizes what has been true, even if it doesn't know how to say it out loud. There are tears that have yet to be cried. There are words still caught in the throat of time, and in the meantime, the universe works. With each dawn, an invisible thread adjusts. With every thought of yours, an energy reaches this person, and their heart trembles once again. You may not see it, but the divine plan is in action. Nothing is lost when the love is real, not the pauses, nor the separations. Everything serves a greater purpose, and in this case, the purpose is awakening. Do you feel the call? Do you sense that something is about to change even without concrete proof? These feelings are not random. They are subtle responses from a higher plan saying, it's not over yet. There's something heavy in the air, like a fog that refuses to dissipate. This person carries the weight of silence, a dense silence, full of meaning, of fears, of unspoken regrets. It's the kind of silence that speaks more than any word. The separation was not just physical, it was spiritual, as if their heart had hidden behind a curtain, watching from afar the reflection of what could have been. But even in the shadows, love still breathes. This person tries to appear strong, but inside, there's a knot made of memories, promises, doubts, and conflicting prayers. They ask the heavens to forget, but with each attempt, something inside awakens. Because what comes from the soul does not obey logic, only divine timing. Have you ever felt that? That mix of wanting to move on and at the same time being pulled back by something you don't understand? As if the heart had its own memory, indifferent to reason. For that's how this person lives today, caught between the desire to break free and the fear of losing what they still feel. Fear is the true obstacle here, not the lack of love. This person did not distance themselves due to a lack of feeling. It was fear of surrendering, of reviving old wounds, of being seen as vulnerable. And fear, when left unexamined, disguises itself as silence. But God doesn't let true love get lost in fear. He allows pauses for the heart to learn how to breathe. He uses time as a remedy, not as punishment. Now this person is starting to realize that the distance didn't bring the peace she hoped for. Silence has turned into a mirror. And the mirror reflects an image she tried to forget, but which still pulsates alive inside her. There are nights when her heart awakens out of nowhere, as if it heard your name. There are days when she tries to convince herself that she has moved on, but all it takes is a sound, a scent, a memory, and everything starts anew within her. The universe doesn't forget. God doesn't erase what has purpose, and that's why even from afar this person feels an internal calling. Something inside her starts to tremble, as if her very heart whispers, there's still time. Do you know what's the most beautiful thing about all this? Even in the shadows, there's a thread of hope, because true love isn't made of perfection, it's made of persistence. And what persists, even without apparent reasons, is a sign of destiny. Today, there's a battle happening inside this person. The mind wants to give up. The heart does not. The mind says, move on, forget. The heart replies, I can't, I still feel. And in this clash, God works in silence. He transforms pain into understanding, fear into courage, distance into preparation. You can't imagine how many times this person almost sent a message, almost made a gesture, almost broke the silence, but almost is still the comfort zone where fear resides. And in the meantime, the angels watch, waiting for the right moment. Have you ever felt that someone distanced themselves out of fear, not from a lack of love? If so, write in the comments. Because perhaps by putting this into words, you'll release something within yourself. This person is undergoing a deep process of internal confrontation. She is being called to acknowledge what she feels, not to run back, but to understand. Because before returning to you, she needs to return to herself. And that is the hardest path. God doesn't rebuild bridges on unstable ground. He first strengthens the foundations. And that is what is happening now. The spiritual ground between you is being prepared. Silence is the invisible cement where new truths will be built. But as time passes, her heart can't disconnect. Because true love leaves marks, not wounds but impressions, like the trace of the wind over the sea, invisible yet real. There is a whisper that travels through the universe, repeating the same phrase. The answer is no. No, forgetting will not be granted. No, the destiny has not ended here. No, the story has not been erased. Because when two souls are meant to recognize each other, God finds ways to unite what fear has separated. And you feel it. Even without evidence, even without news, there's something in you that still believes. This silent faith is the fuel that keeps the flame alive. And it is what will make the next part of this story happen. There is a subtle movement happening now. An invisible touch that the universe sends when the time begins to turn in favor of love. The pieces are falling into place. Silent, precise, divine. Nothing is by chance. This person feels it. Even trying to deny it, something inside her stirs. Her heart beats stronger when your name crosses her mind. God is reminding her, there's still something to be lived. The guardian angels work in silence, opening paths, awakening memories, calming fears. This person, even in silence, speaks to you on the spiritual plane, because true love doesn't need words to be heard. There are signs, small but constant, a number that keeps appearing, a song that plays at just the right moment, a dream that feels too real. These are responses from the universe confirming the connection still exists. This person thinks about you more than they admit. They try to convince their mind that they've forgotten, but the heart always returns. In moments of solitude, it's your name that echoes. It's your energy that calms and confuses at the same time. God hasn't erased this story, only paused it. The waiting period wasn't punishment. It was preparation. It was the necessary space for love to mature and turn into wisdom. Life is teaching this person to feel truthfully and to love without fear. Meanwhile, you are learning to trust without demanding proof. Two journeys, one purpose. The reunion is being woven. The universe is detail-oriented. It stitches together emotions, realigns paths, breathes courage when everything seems still. And suddenly the impossible becomes natural, a reunion, a look, a memory, the beginning of something new. God is transforming silence into a bridge, the shadow into revelation, the distance into a test of faith. Do you feel it? Its energy moving, calling back what is yours. Do you believe that silence speaks too? Because often it's in silence that the truest love shouts and God answers. Nothing true is lost. What belongs to the soul finds its way, and what was prepared by God returns at the right time. Now be still. Listen to what the heart tries to say without words, because it's in silence that God speaks the loudest. No distance can erase what is true. No time can destroy what has purpose. The universe realigns hearts that seek each other. This person was indeed taken far away, but the distance was the remedy to heal fear, not love. God allowed the pause for both to learn the value of reunion. The longing is now light. Silence has become a temple. The love, once confusing, has become clearer, stronger, purer. The universe works in silence. While you rest, he organizes. While you miss them, he prepares. Nothing is stagnant. Everything moves at the right moment. Close your eyes. Can you feel that gentle energy touching your heart? It's the vibration of that person thinking of you right now. The angels confirm. The connection was never cut, only silenced to grow stronger. Love hasn't died. It has just matured. And when love matures, it ceases to be urgency and becomes certainty. Everything that is yours returns in peace. There's no need to rush or fear, because God doesn't delay what is true, he only polishes. Breathe. Faith is being restored. What seemed like an end is just a pause. What seemed like shadow now reveals light. The right time will come, and when it does, nothing will need to be explained. The soul will recognize what it has always known. No prayer goes unanswered. Every tear is a seed, and the seeds planted in the heart of God always bloom sooner or later. Trust, surrender. God knows what He's doing. Now is your moment to take a deep breath. Do you feel the peace that has arrived? It's not just an emotion, it's confirmation. The guardian angels are with you, and this message was the sign you asked for. The universe heard your silence. God is responding with movement. Nothing you feel is in vain. That person is still thinking, still feeling, still carrying something of yours within them. And time is working for the reunion to happen when you are both ready. Do you believe in new beginnings guided by God? Write it in the comments. I want to read the word that spoke most to your heart. What was your word for today? Hope? Destiny? Silence? Love? Leave it in the comments. This is a way to send light to the universe. If this message resonated with you, give it a like and share. Maybe someone needs to hear exactly what you just heard. Nothing is small when it comes from faith. And if you want to keep receiving messages from the angels and the universe, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. That way, every time the heavens want to send you a sign, they will find their way to you. The universe is in motion. The angels are in charge. And the love that is yours, what is already on its way back. Silence is not absence. It's preparation for the reunion. If this message touched your heart, leave A in the comments and write the word that resonated with you the most today. Share it with someone who needs faith, and remember, true love is never lost. It just waits for the right time to bloom again.